Welcome back to my channel Knowledge Chronicle.
Have you ever wondered what happens when science starts modifying living organisms? Can someone own a living being, a plant, or even a seed that's been used by farmers for centuries? Should there be a limit to what humans can change in nature? In today's video, we're diving into one of the most controversial and important topics of modern biology: ethical issues in genetic engineering, patents, and biopiracy. This is not just about science. It's about survival, justice, and the future of our ecosystems. Let's begin with a simple question. Just because we can do something, should we? Science has given us tools to manipulate the DNA of plants, animals, and even humans. But where do we draw the line? The manipulation of living organisms, like inserting foreign genes into animals or creating genetically modified GM crops, can have unpredictable consequences. What if a genetically modified organism GMO escapes into the natural ecosystem and disrupts the balance? What if it harms other species or even us? That's why ethical standards are essential. We need rules that help us decide whether an action is morally acceptable and what its potential biological risks are. Now let's move to a more complex issue: patents on life. What if a company modifies a seed and then patents it? This means no one else can grow or sell it without permission, even if that seed was originally developed by Indian farmers hundreds of years ago. Sounds unfair, right? Let's take the famous example of basmati rice. India has around 200,000 varieties of rice, and basmati is one of the most cherished. With 27 traditional varieties grown in India, it's not just a crop, it's a cultural treasure. But in 1997, an American company was granted a patent on basmati rice by the US Patent Office. How? By crossing traditional Indian basmati with semi-dwarf varieties and claiming it as a new invention. This gave them exclusive rights to sell this so-called new basmati abroad. This raised a storm of outrage. How could someone claim ownership of a variety grown in India for centuries? This leads us to a dangerous trend called biopiracy. Biopiracy is when corporations or researchers take bioresources or traditional knowledge from a country without proper permission or payment and profit from them. India has seen multiple such cases. Patents were attempted on Indian herbs like turmeric and neem, which have been used in traditional medicine for generations. Imagine someone in another country patenting haldi doodh as a wellness drink. That's how absurd it gets. Rich industrial nations often lack biodiversity, but they have the money and power. In contrast, countries like India are rich in biodiversity and indigenous knowledge, but poor in global influence. So what's being done to stop this? India has started pushing back with legal tools. The Indian Patents Act was recently amended to protect against biopiracy and unethical patents. The Second Amendment includes emergency provisions to stop patents that harm national interest, stricter rules for patenting bioresources, and encouragement for Indian research and development. These changes ensure that companies cannot just steal traditional knowledge or bioresources and patent them without consent and fair compensation. India has also taken international steps, fighting patents in US and EU courts to defend its heritage. In the end, ethical issues in science are not just about technology. They're about justice, culture, and survival. Whether it's a seed, a herb, or a gene, no one should own what nature and generations of people have collectively nurtured. We must stay informed, stay alert, and protect what's rightfully ours. Your one like, share, and subscribe will help us create more valuable content. Thank you for watching Knowledge Chronicle, where science meets truth.